If anyone ever downplays the sacrifice and risks of childbirth, show them this.
When I woke up from the coma 7 days later, my hand was still attached, but it was completely black and just blistery. My 3 fingers were black as well, and then my foot to my ankle area was black. After I woke up from my coma, I had to get the rest of my amputations done.
So this woman gave birth to her 3rd child, okay? Everything was good until she was 4 months postpartum and she ended up getting mastitis, which I had no idea what this was before hearing her story, but it's this painful swelling and infection of a woman's breast tissue, which is usually caused by blocked milk ducts while breastfeeding. So basically, no milk was coming out, and so she got mastitis, which then formed into an abscess. Then that abscess ruptured into her bloodstream, which caused her to go into septic shock. Then once she was in septic shock, doctors needed to place her into medically induced coma for 7 days. When this poor woman woke up from the coma, her breast was removed and her leg, foot, hand, and fingers were black, and they needed to be amputated. And I get it, the odds of someone getting their limbs amputated from this are very low, but still, this just adds on to the list of things I should be worried about when having kids.
Blood-curdling facts that you wish you never knew. Part 26. Atoms are 99% nothing, which makes us 99% nothing as well. Also, if you come in contact with someone or something, you're not actually touching them. You're simply sensing the repulsion between your atoms and theirs. You can get bed bugs from movie theater seats. In 1386, a French pig was publicly executed for the murder of a child. The pig was given full legal representation and provided human clothes for the trial. A 7-year-old South African girl is more likely to be raped than to receive an education. In the 1950s, many babies in orphanages didn't cry very often because they knew their cries wouldn't be answered. Hans Langseth, the man with the longest beard in history, died when he tripped over it and cracked his neck. The maximum prison sentence in Brazil is 30 years, meaning that mass murderers like Pedro Rodriguez Filho, who killed over 100 people, are walking free today.
If you grew up in a Hispanic household or in Mexico, then you already know what Extranormal did to our childhood, and that's why most of us love scary things. Honestly, it wasn't just a show, it terrified me. It was the most terrifying thing I saw growing up. Extranormal started way back in 2007 in TV Azteca. Every episode had real investigators, real priests, and real psychics. They would all go to these abandoned haunted places together. Hospitals, cursed cemeteries, literally everywhere. Even homes where people claim to see real demons and crazy stuff. Yeah, no thank you. The scary part was that everything was live, no edits, to my knowledge, no nothing, just raw footage. And if you were terrified just like me, you already know there are episodes that people still talk about. For example, La Casa de los Niños. In this episode, toys move by themselves and you could hear a child's voice coming from the other room. No. Another creepy episode was El Hospital del Diablo, where like a shadowy figure appears right behind one of the crew members. Even many skeptics say that that episode seemed a little too real. But what do you guys think about this show? Do you think it was real or was it all fake? But honestly, I don't care. It really made me grew into scary stuff, and for that, I thank it.
5 super interesting facts about hippos. Number 1, hippos can open their mouth about 150 degrees, which in adults can be about 3 to 4 feet wide. Number 2, a hippo's weight can vary, but generally they can weigh between 3,000 to almost 10,000 pounds. Number 3, the hippo has the strongest recorded bite by any individual animal, measuring 3,689 pounds of force. Number 4, hippos can move through water at a speed of 8 kilometers per hour, while on land they can move up to 30 kilometers per hour. And number 5, the last interesting fact that you want to know about hippos. Hippos cannot actually jump, but they can get all 4 feet off the ground while running. Comment your all-time favorite animal and follow for more videos like this one.
These are scary what-if thoughts that will keep you up at night, part 3. What if the person that we see in the mirror is actually from a different dimension, and the reason that we cannot enter it is because every time that we try and go through it, our other self stops us? Next up, what if the phobias that people have are based on how they died in the past? Maybe that's why we are afraid to do things that we never tried, because it's already how we died. Finally, what if there are multiple souls in your body, but you're the most powerful one, so you have control over your body, and the voices in your head are actually just the weaker souls trying to talk to you?
Labubus are the new talk of town, but people think it is actually a demon doll, and it's Pazuzu. And that basically you're being tricked into thinking, oh, they're so cute, but you're buying something that's actually very dark. Pazuzu is known as the king of demons of the wind. He's often depicted with a combination of animal and human features. People started realizing that there's something actually really wrong with these dolls, including a girl that said her doll changed eye colors and that the smile got bigger. I'll share that clip in another video. And these are often marketed towards children, as well as adults. But think about it, demons prey on the young. There's a bunch of other people that have come forward saying that it just feels spiritually off and that they've also had creepy encounters with their Labubu doll. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below, because everyone is having one of these and they might be darker than you think.
This is what the last minutes of life sound like. Why does a person seem to choke in the final moments before death? This phenomenon is called terminal breathing, and it's one of the scariest sounds you can ever hear. It happens because fluid begins to accumulate in the airways. When the end is near, the body stops clearing the throat and bronchi from mucus and other liquids. This often occurs in bedridden patients, when all the fluids slowly sink into the lungs. A person can no longer cough or swallow and the muscles simply stop working, and these sounds are truly terrifying, especially when it's someone you love and you realize there's nothing you can do to help. Doctors and nurses hear this every day. It's hard to even imagine how much psychological strength it takes to watch again and again as people take their final breaths. What do you think about this? Write your thoughts in the comments. I'll read every single one, and don't forget to subscribe. Otherwise, we might never see each other again.
These are 8 horrifying facts that will probably keep you up at night. There are thousands of old diseases frozen in the glaciers of the world, and global warming will eventually release them all. If a person dies in their costume at Disney, like Mickey Mouse, they have to be sat down on a bench so it looks like they're resting. Climate change is making spiders bigger. Some female spiders allow their young to eat them alive. Tooth in the eye surgery is when surgeons put a tooth in a blind person's eye to restore their sight. It was pioneered in the 1960s, and it actually works, and it's still being done today. The chances of a successful CPR outside of a hospital is only 7%. Cell phones are 10 times dirtier than a toilet seat. When you suddenly wake up during the night without any reason, there was someone or something staring at you. Yeah, there's a lot more, like for part 12.
Yo, what's up? Here's some scary facts about our world that you probably didn't want to know. Part 9. Cockroach milk is actually a very good source of proteins, fats, and sugars. So let me ask you, if you're stranded and you had nothing else to eat or drink, would you drink cockroach milk? When investigators finally searched Jeffrey Dahmer's house, they found human remains in almost every single inch of it. Yeah, that's terrifying. The chances of you dying are 6.7% higher on your birthday than any other day. I can tell you the reason for that. Y'all start partying, you get crazy, and you almost cause your own deaths. This one's pretty widely known, but I might as well just go ahead and say it. Your camera and your microphone are always listening and watching you. So that's why when you get on Instagram or another social media, they always know what you want to see and what you were talking about. That's why the ads pop up. The last one, I wouldn't recommend this to anyone, but there are websites and stuff on the internet where you can watch people be killed and tortured to death.
This is some dark stuff going on around the world that the public definitely doesn't know about. Up first, humanity has wiped out 60% of the animal population since 1970. Just think about that for a second. 60% of all animal population has been wiped out. This is absolutely crazy, and we use all of these resources for food and clothes and just stuff like that. But when you hear that we killed 60% of the animal population, it kind of makes you think, right? Next up, we all know the mega city that Saudi Arabia is building called Neom. But did you know Saudi Arabia is sentencing people to death who refuse to move out of their homes so they could actually build the mega city Neom? And their relatives are being sentenced to multiple decades of prison time just for protesting and posting their support to the cause on social media. This is absolutely sickening, and I can't believe nobody is talking about this. This next one is going to keep us all up at night. But bacterial resistance to antibiotics is at an alarming level. There has already been instances of pan-antibiotic resistant strains of bacteria. This can throw us back to the pre-antibiotic era, which will effectively mean if you catch an infection, you will die. Just like in the 1400s. Finally, women are going missing from Indian reservations across some of the United States. Many are young women and are probably being used for sex trafficking. I wonder why they're taking Indian women from Indian reservations. And I wonder why sick stuff happens like this on Earth every single day.
I can't stop thinking about what I just learned recently. There was a woman who had a persistent cough and fever for over 6 months. She received antibiotics, anti-tuberculosis medicine, and nothing was helping. The cause ended up being an inverted bag-like structure inside of her lung that was later revealed to be a condom. Keanu Reeves' stunt double in The Matrix is who ended up directing him in the John Wick movies. The word run is apparently the most complex word in the English language because it has 645 possible meanings. Luis Albino was a 6-year-old boy who was kidnapped in 1951 and was found alive by his relatives in 2024. When Pluto was discovered, the first choice for a name was Minerva, but apparently it was already taken by an asteroid. After Steve Carell left The Office, James Gandolfini of The Sopranos was offered the role to replace him, but HBO paid him $3 million to not take it. The iPhone 5 was released in the same month that GTA 5 came out.
Disturbing facts about Disney that you won't believe, part 1. Let's talk about this very creepy gas mask that Walt Disney made for children. So the use of chemical war in World War II meant that a lot of people were carrying gas masks around with them. In 1942, Walt Disney invented a Mickey Mouse-inspired gas mask. He claimed that this gas mask would calm terrified kids. Yes, this was meant to calm children. I don't know how because it's freaking creepy. Like, look at that. That's nightmare fuel. Anyways, with the help of the Sun Rubber Company, 1,000 of these masks were made. They thought kids would be more inclined to wear them if they were in the shape of a fun-loving mouse. But in the end, they just turned out fairly creepy. Make sure to follow me on YouTube for more content like this. Link in bio.
Things humans were never meant to see.
Perra madre. Ah, su madre. No mames.
This is why you should never inhale helium from balloons again.
¿Qué pasó? ¡Ey! ¡No, Daniela! ¡Se me pasa! ¡No, Daniela!
A girl inhales helium for a funny voice. Seconds later, her face turns blue. She can't breathe and almost collapses. What's really happening? Helium pushes oxygen out of your lungs. Your brain suddenly gets almost no oxygen. Here's how the symptoms usually build. First, you feel lightheaded and unsteady. Then you may hear a high ringing in your ears. Dark spots creep across your vision. Your legs give out and you black out. A hard fall can add a head injury on top of the oxygen loss. Just one quick puff can still be risky. And never breathe from a pressurized cylinder. That jet of gas can tear a lung and send air into your bloodstream, which can be fatal. Also, not every balloon uses helium. Some use hydrogen, which is explosive. If someone passes out after inhaling gas, get them to fresh air immediately. Loosen tight clothes and keep them lying on their side. Call emergency services right away. Do not give them more gas to fix it. Balloons are for decoration, not for your lungs. Save this video, share it with friends, and follow for more life-saving tips.
Here is the terrifying dark truth behind the Teletubbies. It's actually based off a Bulgarian children's asylum, and each Teletubby is based off a child who died in the asylum. The purple Teletubby is based off a child named Toate, and he was very mischievous, but because of this, he was punished by having to spend the entire night outside, freezing to death, which turned his body completely purple. The yellow Teletubby is based off a small girl named Lala. She had a face deformity that made it look like she was always smiling. They kept her in a cell in complete isolation, making her skin completely yellow. The green Teletubby is based off a girl named Donka, and she was always incredibly sick. Her face and body slowly turned a sickly green color, and she eventually died. The red Teletubby is based on a girl named Paulina. One night she was playing and rolling around in the mud outside and fell asleep by a fire, and one of the people working in the asylum thought she was a log, and because of this, they ended up throwing her in the fire.
Creepy things hidden in pictures. A normal attic. Who is that? A normal selfie. Who is that? A wedding group photo. Is that a ghost? Two friends at night in the woods. Is that a wolf? A normal group picture. Whose hand is that? A normal family photo. Who is that? A normal couch. Who is that?
How animals look when wet. Koala. Sloth. Dog. Cat. Bunny. Raccoon.
A street vendor in Japan was serving this woman when he noticed that her face started to change. Slowly, she started to shapeshift. Now, people think that this is a skinwalker, but it is not. It seems as if it's the slit-mouthed woman, which is this really creepy Japanese urban legend. Let me show you the video and let me know what you think.
Blood-curdling facts that you wish you never knew, Part 18. A man from Queens once spent 5 months in jail completely unaware that his bail was just $2. Since spiders molt, when you see what you might think is a dead spider, it could just be that the spider left behind its exoskeleton and is now bigger than before. Dr. Seuss cheated on his wife while she had cancer, and then she proceeded to commit suicide. Almost everyone on Earth is walking around with a bunch of poop inside of them. Scientists accidentally killed the world's oldest living animal, which was a clam that lived to be 507 years old. Statistically speaking, at least one person who comments on this video will not be alive tomorrow. The real reason you shouldn't eat raw cookie dough isn't because of getting sick from eating raw eggs. It's because you shouldn't eat raw flour, which contains fecal matter from all the birds flying over the field and pooping on the wheat.
This woman disappeared off the face of the earth in 1992 and then re-emerged 30 years later in a nursing home in Puerto Rico. She's originally from Pennsylvania, so how did that happen? Her name is Patricia Copta. In 1992, when extensive search efforts provided nothing, they just pronounced her as dead. She was found alive 30 years later in a Puerto Rican nursing home. That's pretty far from Pennsylvania. She had apparently been living under the alias of Serena and had dementia. There are tons of theories on why she ended up here. The most popular theory is that she was fearful of being institutionalized. She was apparently showing signs of schizophrenia and dementia, and doctors were going to put her into a mental institution to help her. Ironically, she fled the country and ended up in a nursing home anyways. They only found this out because she started slowly revealing information about herself at a nursing home. They started cross-referencing some records and they matched it up. Others claim she was probably trafficked and ended up in Puerto Rico somehow. Some backstory information I also got from researching. Apparently she was a street preacher and said she saw the Virgin Mary. I'm curious to know what she did in those 30 years, but she probably does not remember, unfortunately. What do you guys actually think happened to Patricia Copta?
Have you guys heard of the Night Lady? This all started in Chihuahua, Mexico, 2009. Residents started noticing something really disturbing. You see, now some of the children in the area were going missing. I gotta grab some food for this one. Look at this beautiful roll. Now with all the children around the area going missing, people started reporting seeing a woman. They said she would climb on the rooftops during the day, only to wait till night to sneak in through the window to snatch children. Police then sketched an image of what they believed to be the Night Lady. Only one child has been reported of actually escaping the Night Lady. You see, his parents had ran into the room and caught her just in time. She quickly then escaped and crawled out of the window. Wait, before I continue, let's say the Night Lady had taken you. Your third act has to come and save you. Who is it? Let me know who it is. Anyways, the kid that got away recounted waking up in the middle of the night and seeing the Night Lady standing over top of him, just watching him. People have brushed this off as just one big hoax until after midnight, a teenage girl had captured this photo.
I am still processing what I just found out today. A man intentionally destroyed a dam in 1993 that caused a mass flooding of the Mississippi River straight up just to delay his wife's return home so he could continue to party with his friends. The terms uppercase and lowercase come from the physical cases where printers kept their letters. Nebraska put into place the first child surrendering law in 2008. This was a law that allowed new parents to legally and anonymously give up their baby instead of doing something more desperate. This was meant for babies under 30 days old, but because the law did not have an age limit, people actually started giving up their 10 to 17-year-old children, and so that law was quickly amended. Daughter from California syndrome is literally a term in the medical field for an angry and uninformed family member of a terminal patient demanding aggressive treatment against advice. 10 to 15% of formerly married couples reconcile after separating.
Here are some reasons why Michael Jackson might still be alive. This burn victim named Dave was good friends with Michael Jackson while he was alive. And it is actually believed that the photos of them together are photoshopped and that it's really just Michael in disguise using detailed makeup. Because Dave looks extremely similar to Michael and has a voice that sounds just like him. Michael Jackson's former stylist recently shared a photo on social media of a mysterious man wearing white socks and baggy trousers, which were some of Michael's favorite clothes. And the caption on the post was, "In a recording studio, somewhere in the world, in an undisclosed location." And then he said he's coming soon. Many also believe that Michael faked his death to escape the crushing debt that was going on at the time. Because right before he died, he owed around $500 million. And since being dead, the Michael Jackson name has a net worth of over $2 billion.
Did you know that in 2010, a gold statue of Buddha was X-rayed, only to reveal a living, breathing monk inside who had been there since 1320? According to the legend, it was discovered in 2010 in an old temple on top of a mountain in Sri Lanka. When archaeologists explored the temple, they found a statue of Buddha made of gold. The statue was taken to a museum. People constantly visited and took photos with it, as it was believed to bring good luck. But one day, a girl took a photo and noticed that the statue's eyes were open. Museum employees decided to send the statue for an X-ray and found out that there was a living person inside. To see the photo, just search for living Buddha statue. Scientists immediately began studying the discovery. They learned that inside was a monk named Anshu, who covered himself in gold back in 1320 in order to be placed in the center of the temple on the mountain. Somehow, he remained alive inside and survived to this day. Examination showed that he was perfectly healthy. No one could understand how he managed to live for over 1,000 years without food or water. The medical community was left speechless, unable to classify his state as either life or death. They decided not to remove the monk as it could harm him, so the statue was left in the museum where it still remains.
Horror movie facts that will haunt your nightmares. Part 2. Coraline. The soundtrack in the movie is a French children choir singing. Surprisingly, they aren't actually singing in French. They're singing in a completely made-up language. If you look on the wall of the dining room in the other mother's home, you'll see 3 portraits of silhouettes. These likely represent the 3 ghost children that appear later in the film. In the normal world, the boy is sad and has dropped his ice cream. But in the other world, he's happy and his ice cream is perfect. On the back of the chair above where Coraline's doll sits features a small flower-shaped pattern. And this flower is almost exactly like the one on the back of Jack Torrance's chair in The Shining. The Welcome Home cake features a double loop on the O. And according to graphology, a double loop on the lowercase o means that the person who wrote it is not telling the truth. But on the cake, there is actually only one double loop, meaning that Coraline is welcome, but she is not home.
This girl is showing how she keeps herself safe when she goes camping completely alone. First of all, she always brings a male mannequin with her. She dresses it in men's clothes, and from a distance you could really think it's a real person. To make it even more convincing, she puts a pair of men's boots right at the entrance to her tent, so it's obvious there's definitely a guy there with her. Then she sprinkles rice all around the tent. She says that this way she protects herself from all kinds of negative energies. After that, she sets up a second women's tent. This one is meant to work as bait and also to create the impression that there are several people at the campsite. Inside that tent, she scatters a bunch of mouse traps. So if anyone tries to get inside, there's no way they go unnoticed. Then she fences off the area around the tents with caution tape. According to her, this often helps scare off potential intruders. Next, the girl shows what she always brings to keep herself safe while camping. First of all, bear spray. It can literally save your life if you run into wild animals. She also has a special speaker that plays a dog growling and barking every 15 minutes. This helps scare away uninvited guests, including wild animals. Influencer everyone's saying might be in serious danger right now? There's this girl who goes by the name Flo. She used to just post fun, light-hearted videos, and for a while everything seemed totally normal. But then people in the comments started pointing out that weird stuff was happening in the background of her clips. Every now and then, behind a door, you can see random people in the background who look like they're watching her. That's how this whole theory started, that maybe she's being forced to film this content. One viewer even commented, "Wear a pink t-shirt in your next video if you're in danger." And guess what happened next? In the very next clip, she really was wearing pink. People freaked out and flooded the comments again, asking her to wear a different color shirt in the next video if she needed help. And the creepiest part is that she kept doing it. Over and over, she would wear exactly what people asked for in the comments, which only made her followers more suspicious. Her viewers started digging even deeper and decided that the phrase she says at the beginning of every video might actually be some kind of secret SOS signal.
Kaku kaku! Kaku kaku! What I'm about to share with you are real audio recordings of a possession. These audio recordings come from the Enfield poltergeist case from the 1970s. The demon or demons attached to 11-year-old Janet Hodgson. Now listen to these recordings.
Hello. Hello. Yeah. Oh, it's just sleeping. I'm talking. Oh, so you can't go to sleep and you're talking. So, hello. Labubu talking. Janet, Mark, and Betty, oh, you're sleeping. It's talking. Yeah.
That deep, raspy voice that you hear is coming from Janet. In multiple cases, she was seen levitating in mid-air and would often speak in that low, raspy growl voice when she was possessed.